Good morning, students. Today we want to talk about the carbon compounds, the carbon and its compounds. And I want to talk about two gases. So we talk about carbon 4 oxide and their properties, carbon 2 oxide and their properties. They are oxides of carbon. After that, we now talk about the triazocarbonate 4. We have the metallic triazocarbonate 4. They are divided into two: soluble triazocarbonate 4 and insoluble triazocarbonate 4. We'll discuss about them, their examples, and their properties. Lastly, we talk about the gases, fuel gases. We have two fuel gases that are being produced by carbon 2 oxide. We have water gas and producer gas. We are going to compare the two to see the one that is better and their properties, as we further explain below. Now look at the oxides of carbon. There are two oxides of carbon: carbon dioxide, otherwise known as carbon 4 oxide, and carbon 2 oxide. Let us look at them in detail. The gas carbon dioxide, CO2, occurs naturally in air. You see it in the air. It's abundant in the air. It occurs naturally in the air. It's also a product in these three reactions. You can also get it from these three reactions that I want to see. The first one, the combustion of carbon compound in plenty of air. When you burn carbon compound in excess air, for example, with natural gas, this is methane. Methane is a natural gas. If you burn methane with excess air, the reaction is given below. It's going to give you carbon 4 oxide and water. So that is one reaction that you can get carbon 4 oxide from. When you burn methane, a natural gas in air, you get carbon 4 oxide. Secondly, the reaction between glucose and oxygen. The glucose in the body, after digestion, you have glucose. If it's being burned with oxygen in your body cells, it also produces carbon 4 oxide, and that is the reaction you have seen. So, and this type of reaction is called respiration. You breathe out the carbon dioxide. During breathing, this carbon dioxide is being breathed out. So, we produce carbon 4 oxide during respiration. Last one, the reaction between dilute acid. When you have acid, dilute acid is carbonate, maybe calcium carbonate. So they are going to produce carbon 4 oxide. So these are the three reactions in which carbon 4 oxide is actually being produced. So, what are the properties of this carbon dioxide or carbon 4 oxide? It is colorless gas. It has no smell. It is heavier than air. Things will not burn in it. So we say it does not support combustion. When you put it, doesn't support combustion because things will not burn in it. It is slightly soluble in water, forming carbonic acid, triazocarbonate 4 acid. Test for carbon 4 oxide. How can we test for it? It turns lime water milky. When you add lime water to carbon dioxide or carbon 4 oxide, it turns it to milky. And when bubble in excess, the lime water becomes clear again. So that is how to test for carbon dioxide. When you add it to lime water, you turn it milky. So let us look at the second oxide of carbon, which is carbon monoxide or carbon 2 oxide. CO. It is formed when carbon compound burn in little oxygen. You know, carbon 4 oxide is produced when carbon is burned in plentiful supply of air. But carbon 2 oxide is produced when carbon compounds are burned in little oxygen. For example, when methane is burned in sufficient oxygen, when the oxygen is not much, that is going to give you CO, carbon 2 oxide. It is a deadly poisonous gas. Carbon 2 oxide is more poisonous than carbon 4 oxide. It is a deadly poisonous gas. It binds to hemoglobin in red blood cells and prevents it from carrying oxygen around the body. So, victims die from oxygen starvation. Carbon monoxide has no smell. which makes it hard to detect. So it is important to have gas heaters and boilers checked regularly to make sure that the air supply is not blocked by soot. So fuel gases. Two fuel gases have been produced from carbon. We have the producer gas and water gas. We compare the two of them and see the one that is better. And their constituents, what makes them. Producer gas is a mixture of nitrogen and carbon dioxide. It's a common question in WAEC. The producer gas is made up of nitrogen and carbon dioxide, as you can see at the product CO plus N2 underline. Properties: it has low heating power because it contains non-combustible nitrogen. So the heating power is very low. It is inexpensive. It is a source of nitrogen for the manufacture of what? Ammonia. So that is fuel gases. Let's look at water gas. Water gas is a mixture of equal volume of hydrogen and carbon dioxide. CO plus hydrogen will give you producer gas. Both the hydrogen and CO in water gas burn in air, releasing a lot of heat. This makes water gas an important industrial fuel. So water gas is better, produce more heat than producer gas. However, it has too high CO for domestic use. Domestically, it cannot be used because the CO content in it is too high. It is also an industrial source of hydrogen and other organic compounds such as methanol and butanol. So, we look at metallic transcarbonate 4. The transcarbonate 4 are compounds that in form, they are compounds of carbon. They are inorganic compounds of carbon. We call them triisocarbonate 4. So, we divide it into two based on their solubility. Those ones that are soluble in water are called soluble transcarbonate 4, while those ones that are insoluble in water are called insoluble transcarbonate 4. So let us look at soluble transcarbonate 4. Example: sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate. They are soluble transcarbonate 4. They are soluble in water. They form alkalis when they dissolve in water. They do not decompose on it. When you heat them, they don't decompose. They don't break. They react with direct acid to give salt water and carbon dioxide. That is their property. So let's look at insoluble carbonate 4, e.g. calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, zinc carbonate, iron tricarbonate, etc. These are insoluble in water. They decompose on heating to produce carbon dioxide and corresponding oxides. But the exception is silver carbonate, decomposed to give metal, silver, oxygen, and CO2. So that is the properties of carbon and its compound. Thanks.